right, what's going on, guys? Dr. Matt here with the Rhody Strength Podcast. Got another special guest on today, Joe Hoye, owner of Hoye Fit. Am I saying that right, Hoye?
That's it.
All right, perfect. So I know I read it into your bio. You do a lot of remote coaching. Do you do any in-person coaching as well?
So not in like a paid way. Every once in a while for my online clients, if they're local, I'll get a class going. But it's just kind of for fun, kind of build community. But it's all online. It's easier for me to help more people that way.
Awesome. Yeah, I checked out your website. It's really, really nice, really professional looking. It looks like you're specializing in both weight loss for clients trying to lose weight, but also in hypertrophy, clients trying to gain muscle, look better. A lot of physique style training.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
First of all, dude, thanks for having me on. Really excited. But yeah, so I go mainly for weight loss because that is America's biggest problem. So I want to help, like I said a minute ago, as many people as I can just feel better about themselves, live a better life, and just live longer. But if people do get to their end goal weight and they say, I'm still not super happy, we can also change gears and start adding on some muscle. And that's always the most fun part for me, really, because that's what I like to do for myself.
Totally. So you can relate really well to that.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I do want to really dive deep into that. But we'll start off with some rapid fire questions. And these are fun for me. I don't know if anybody else likes them, but I like to hear the answers. So we're still doing them. So we'll start it off. And so a lot of the people I've done have been in Rhode Island. So for these questions, feel free to make it like wherever. I mean, you're in New Hampshire, correct?
Vermont, Southern Vermont, but I'm
Vermont.
Away from New Hampshire. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So if these questions relate to Vermont, New Hampshire, whatever, that's totally fine. So first question, we got favorite coffee.
Absolutely none.
No coffee at all.
Not a coffee guy.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I drink my caffeine and pre-workout, and then that's about it. Every once in a while, like because Kayla, my girlfriend, really likes coffee. So if we go somewhere and they have like, don't judge me, but like the super girly coffee drinks, that's kind of my jam.
Nice.
That's what it'll be if I get one.
So what, wait, give me an example. Like pumpkin spice latte type of thing?
No. Not like that. So we were living in Hawaii for like the past 3 or 4 months. And we had this spot where she would get these lavender chais, and I would end up drinking about 90% of them for her.
Nice. That sounds good.
Yep.
And what type of pre-workout do you like?
So I make my own. I just kind of bought all the raw ingredients that do their own thing, right? So you have the beta alanine, you have the citrulline malate, you have the caffeine, and then I can kind of base it on how I'm feeling that day, right? So if I don't need a ton of anything, I basically won't make any pre-workout. If I'm feeling really tired, I'll add in some extra caffeine, some extra beta, and just kind of send it for the day.
And do you mix it with any flavors, or do you just kind of go just like kind of natural flavored, like in a glass of water, like mix it?
Usually mix with electrolytes.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. And so I know the beta alanine, I know the caffeine, obviously. Citrulline, I've been hearing more and more about that. Can you describe that a little bit to me?
Yeah. So I don't have a ton of understanding of it. From what I do know, it's the precursor to L-arginine, which is an amino acid. Gotcha. So it digests or gets used in your body more efficiently when you take it in the citrulline format. And that's kind of what gives you the tunnel vision effect of pre-workout, right? Okay. So if you want to say you're feeling itchy, you'll take a ton of beta. If you want some tunnel vision, you'll take the citrulline.
Sure. Cool. All right. I like that. The brand, I haven't taken I used to only just drink coffee, black coffee, for pre-workout, just to get the caffeine boost. Back in the day, I took pre-workout, but I just started 2 weeks ago taking it again. There's a company, Gorilla Mind. Have you heard of that one?
I don't think I have. No. It's
made by this guy who's like a big YouTuber / podcaster, Derek, More Plates, More Dates. You might have heard him before. He's kind of
I've heard of that.
So it's his like one that he came up with and mixed together. So and he does a good job of like almost like what you do. He's like, all right, I took these ingredients and I put it together, and this is what I take. So it sells it, so I like that. That's cool.
Do you like it? Does it work good?
I do. I like it. He doesn't, him personally, he doesn't like the beta alanine tingle. So he doesn't put that in his pre-workout. And I know a lot of people really do like that. So I'll have people try it and they're like, I don't know, this isn't for me. I don't like it, but I'm a fan. I like it.
Nice.
Um, one more thing I was gonna say about that, lost it. Up, maybe it'll come back to me. If not, that's fine.
That's fine.
We'll move on. Oh, here it is. Do you take pre-workout? So we'll get into this, but your training, do you have like more of like a cardio heavy, like hit style workouts? You do more like the strength training style workouts? And if you do have those kind of separations, do you still take the pre-workout based on like the certain style of training you do?
So I train mostly in CrossFit, but
Mm.
I don't do the typical like bury yourself in Metcons for 2 hours a day.
Sure.
So I'll start my day with like 2 to 3 strength pieces. I'll do a conditioning piece. I'll hop into one Metcon, and then after that, I'll do accessories.
Nice.
So it's like a 2-hour, 2.5-hour workout. And I absolutely need pre-workout for it.
Nice.
Or else it's not going to go super well.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, if so I we'll get into this too, but so I'm a member at CrossFit Providence and I follow their programming, and they do a good job of like each day is a little different and progress week to week, like some strength specific, some Olympic lifting specific, and endurance specific days.
Yeah.
And I find personally, I'm like on the endurance days, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I really, because it's just like a 30-minute like smash your head into the wall Metcon. I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I want to take pre-workout for this. I think my heart's already me racing enough.
Did you said CrossFit Providence?
Yep.
So I just met the owner, Tanner.
Yes.
In my hometown of Brattleboro, Vermont. Like, I think it was Christmas weekend. He was here visiting family.
Yep.
So then when I saw that you trained there, it's like the funniest thing that you and I connected, and I just met him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's insane. And I feel like within the CrossFit world, I mean, that stuff happens. I mean, there's a huge community that does it, but like for some reason, like everybody starts to like piece together and like, people, like it's cool. That's really interesting that happened.
Yeah, definitely.
Where were you guys training?
So there's no CrossFit gym in our area. I train at Supreme Fitness, which is just a tiny, not a tiny, but like a family-owned box gym in Brattleboro, which is my hometown. And then inside of that, they have this smaller room with like 2 squat rack rig, 1 rope, a couple rowers, and we all just kind of make do with it. But it has everything we need, so that's where we get it done.
That's nice. What was the name of the gym again? You said
Supreme Fitness.
Supreme Fitness. Gotcha. Like the skateboard / t-shirt company. Exactly. Nice. Cool. Just curious, how'd you guys meet? Did you just see you doing some CrossFit like burpees and stuff? And it's like, hey, I do CrossFit too.
So I walked in, I was working out with a couple of friends. And it was actually like the busiest that tiny room has been all year. And I walked in and I knew everybody in there except for this dude with a mustache. And when me and my 3 friends walked in, everybody's like, oh, hey dude, what's up? And I was the only guy that didn't know him. Yeah. So he went to go grab a drink of water, and it's like, I pulled my buddy aside. I was like, hey, who is that guy? Like, I feel like I should know him if you guys do. And they explained to me. And once they said his last name, it turns out that his mom and his sister actually did one of my nutrition challenges early in the year.
No way.
So I introduced myself to him, and he said he owned CrossFit Providence, and then that was that.
Interesting. Yeah. Hey, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, let's hit next rapid fire question. We got favorite sneaker.
What are we talking here? Are we talking like CrossFit or just kind of wear around?
I mean, maybe like the sneaker you like to hit the gym with, like CrossFit style or whatever.
I don't know which one it is, but it's one of the Innovate shoes.
Nice. Oh, that's the OG one.
Yeah.
I think
it's like a boot style. I think it's like the F300 or something like that, but I really like it.
It's a high top?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think I've seen that style. I've seen the Innovates where they had like the really, really low top, almost like bare minimum shoes. I haven't seen the high top. Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've tried the Metcons, I've tried the Nanos. I think I still have a pair of each floating around, but the Nanos have kind of turned into like just kind of bomb around downtown and lifestyle shoes.
True. Yeah. Nice. And we got next question. We got favorite lift, movement, or exercise. Like what's movement when you see the workout? You're like, yes, I get to do this today.
Man, that's a tough one. It's like a love-hate thing for anything in CrossFit because it's gonna hurt. It would probably have to be like squat snatches, just because it takes so much like thought and focus, technique. and I still
100%.
suck at it, so I can still get good at it.
Yeah. It's like, you'll never, I would argue you can never have a perfect, because you'll always improve on it.
Right.
I mean, even if it comes down to like, if your technique is like as good as it can get, is you add weight and then your technique falls apart. You're like, okay, now I got to work on this and I got to work on this. So yeah, it's kind of like the thing you can always improve. I mean, that's with a lot of things, but especially the squat snatch. I'm with you on that.
Are you a CrossFitter? Are you a big CrossFitter?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I actually train at CrossFit Providence probably 2-3 times a week. And I, on the other days, I use their programming, at the other gym I'm at here, at a Portsmouth. So, I'm pretty much doing their programming anywhere between like 4 to 6 times a week. Sometimes I'll throw in a different workout, just for fun, for some variation.
Nice.
Yeah. They do a good job, programming there, as far as, like I said, varying it up, but also like progressing week to week. Like, okay, we're doing either percentage work or like RPE style. Like, okay, this week we do this X amount with the back squat. Now we're progressing to this. So they do a really good job of that, which I know should be in my opinion, the standard.
Should be everywhere,
yeah.
but isn't, right?
But it isn't always. Yeah. So I think they do a good job. They also, it's kind of funny. They have the two, so Tanner and Dave work together in the programming, and Dave is the head coach, and Dave will self-test most of the workouts beforehand, and then adjust as needed, which is cool too. So kind of like he's the guinea pig.
That's awesome. Make sure nobody gets buried too bad.
Yeah, exactly. So actually, before we get to the next question, what are you doing right now for programming for your training?
So I follow the Fraser programming right now.
Nice.
And I don't see myself going anywhere. I used to train at CrossFit Oahu in Hawaii. And that's like kind of when I first that is when I very first got into CrossFit back in 2019. I'd never done anything, and I just walked straight in there. And for someone that was new, or anybody that just wants to be like physically fit, that's an awesome gym, great programming, super well thought out. But then I just wanted a little bit more, right? Like an hour class has so much time for a warm up, a metcon, and like a strength piece. And I just wanted a little bit more. So then I went to Jump Ship. Are you familiar with them?
No, I've heard them.
So it's the guy that started, what is it? Misfits.
Oh, okay.
He ended up jumping ship, which is why he called it Jump Ship.
That's hilarious.
He moved out to Hawaii, made online programming, and I followed that. But it was just like kind of like I mentioned earlier, where you just like get buried in metcon after metcon after metcon. And I wasn't really seeing a ton of progress. And then Fraser came out, and I've been on that, and it's good. I like it a lot. So
that came out maybe like 6 months ago, maybe now?
I think so.
Yeah. And you've been on it since it came out?
No. We're on day like 100 now. So about 3 months.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's a good time to be able to like, okay, really assess like, how's this program doing? And you're noticing some good progress with it.
It is. Yeah. Because like I said, like you said, actually, where Tanner and Dave have like strength pieces and it's progressions based on RPE, it's the same thing, right? So I just finished the strength phase. That went well. Cardio has been getting better. Everything's progressive. So that's nice.
Awesome. Yeah. I was really interested in his programming after listening to his podcast on the Joe Rogan. Did you end up catching that?
I did.
So that the way he described it, it actually, I was just talking about this on another podcast. The way he described how like breaking things up on and you would know better because you're doing it, but for me, it sounds like on a basis of like, okay, you have a monostructural day, like we're doing cardio. Okay. You have like a gymnastics day. And that's almost the way CrossFit was designed to be in the very beginning. Like have those like certain days. So I'm like, oh, it's kind of like, it sounds like a new concept, but it's actually really like, in my opinion, like going back to like the roots of like kind of how it's supposed to be.
I think it's way smarter.
Yeah. I like it.
It is. So like we'll do rowing intervals on Monday. And then Tuesday is like muscle up work, for instance. It's nice.
That's good. And then the follow-up question, again, this is love-hate. So least favorite movement. You see a movement, you're like, oh God, I got to do this today.
Double unders. Really? Dude, I can't get them. Like I would call myself halfway decent at CrossFit.
Sure.
And I just cannot string a ton of them together.
I'm the same way. I'll break like I can probably get 40, 50, and then I'll always break.
Good though. I've got like I got 20 in me on a good day, and then I've got to stop.
It's tough. It's like part of it's like as you get tired, it gets harder, but also like your heart rate's so jacked up that it gets harder. So
Right.
that's tough. Nice. Hey, a lot of people agree with you on that one.
I hope so.
Next question, we're shifting gears a little bit. We got celebrity crush.
Oh yeah.
It's a tough one.
No, this is an easy one.
You got it. You got it down.
Mila Kunis.
Nice. I like that. Are we talking like that 70s show or more recent?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Either one.
That's my girl.
Nice. Very good. And then next question, we got place most recently traveled.
Shoot, let me think about that. So we were living in, like I said, Hawaii for 4 to 5 months. We came back here to Vermont, and then with my brother and his partner, we went to Acadia, Maine this summer.
Sweet.
We spent a long weekend there, and that is a really cool place. Have you been?
Never.
If you ever get the chance, it's up there in Maine. It's a haul, especially for Rhode Island. But it's a really unique place. It's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm all about that. What'd you guys do as like do you like cabin out there? Did you do like camping or?
Yeah, so we have one of those truck tents. Have you seen those?
Yeah, like you put on the back of like a pickup truck?
Yeah, exactly.
That's sick.
So my brother and his partner, they just pitched a tent, and then Kayla and I unfolded that and slept in a site. And we just did a bunch of hiking and exploring the area, but it's
unreal.
A cool, yeah, it goes from ocean to like mountain in a minute.
Wow, unreal. Yeah, that's really cool. I have a pickup truck and I've been looking into getting into one of those truck tents. So, all right, now I might be sold.
You should talk to me about it after this if you want. They're super cool.
I will. Next question we got: if you have any trips planned or somewhere you want to go next?
We're going to Savannah, Georgia at the end of this month for at least 3 months.
Awesome.
Yeah. So as you know, Kayla's a physical therapist.
Yep.
She just got 2 job offers in Savannah at nursing homes. So she's kind of playing the game, seeing which one gives her the better offer, and then we're going to go down there and avoid the rest of the winter.
Oh, totally. Nice. Yeah. My parents said Savannah is their favorite city in the U.S.
Nice.
I've never been.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Are they golfers?
No. So that says a lot.
They just like it. Nice.
They just like it down there. Yeah. The people, the community, like the cities. Yeah, they just like it.
Awesome. We're excited.
Cool. So that'll be awesome. And for you, that's perfectly fine because you're remote. You're good to go.
Exactly. Kayla just told me like a couple weeks ago. She's like, "Hey, you want to go down south?" I was like, sure. Let's do it. Like nothing's gonna stop us, you know?
That's awesome. That's good. Next question, we got one book that's impacted your life, or one book that you like, one book that you might have read recently.
I would say Grit. Have you read Grit by Angela Duckworth?
I have not.
Dude.
Really good?
It's so good.
All right. I'll put it on the list.
It's good. It's basically like pairing apart people who are super successful and looking at another character trait that isn't talked about a lot, which is grittiness. And it's just how much people are willing to endure before they get to their end goal, right? So like you could get kicked down 1,000 times, but are you willing to get up that extra time? And when you do, you're going to reach the goal. So like if you have grit and perseverance, you're going to get there. And it's just a really good read. She did a ton of studies on a ton of people. I kind of recommend it for anybody that wants to be good at anything.
I'll check that out. I love books like that. I mean, obviously like being in this field, like the health and wellness field, like that type of stuff is really interesting. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Did she also do a TED Talk? I remember listening to a really famous TED Talk about, was that her?
Yep.
I think I saw that. And that was probably like top 5 TED Talks I've seen.
For sure. Yeah. She's awesome.
Yeah. That's really cool. Next question. We got favorite podcasts.
Oh man. The Real AF podcast.
Okay. I haven't heard that one.
No?
No.
It's good. It's really aggressive. Like if people don't like swears.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't listen to it. Kayla gets sometimes.
I can tell by the title.
But it's a good podcast. It's good for business. It's good for health. It's good for grittiness. It's getting a little bit political these days just because of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But then I also like the Savan podcast. Do you know that?
No.
Savan Matosian, or whatever the hell his last name is, from CrossFit.
Is it SAVUN? O-N?
SEVAN.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that one either.
He was like head media at CrossFit or something, and now he's kind of like making his spin off of the Joe Rogan podcast. So he just interviews random people.
Gotcha.
But he's like a really good personality, and he's good at bringing out just like random things in people. So it's pretty fun to listen to.
So he must have been one of the guys that got let go when they did that massive firing. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. So
dude, Castro.
I was gonna ask. That was a good time. Yesterday was big news. I mean, this will get released in a few weeks, but yeah, yesterday Dave Castro got the boot. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know why. Well, obviously I have like my thoughts, but nobody knows why.
Right.
And I don't know if the new guy, Justin, will be able to, he's going to have a lot of pressure.
Definitely.
To come out with like good programming for the games.
Yeah. Just being on Instagram for the past few days, like it seems like Eric's under the gun right now. He's under a lot of heat from the CrossFit world, and rightfully so, for making a huge change like that from someone who's like helped develop and really make the sport what it is today. I mean, me just looking from a business side of things, I understand why it was done. I think I'm probably the minority in that sentiment, but I have a lot of friends who are like, I can't believe this is happening. This is the worst decision ever, blah, blah, blah. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't think it'll really make a huge impact as far as like, we're all still going to do the sport. We're all like, I don't know how much impact's going to have on the open, on the games, all that type of stuff. But yeah, the guy who's replacing me has a big shoes to fill for sure.
He does. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, right? Like, first of all, it's not affecting anybody really anybody you and I know personally, right? Like,
right.
Guy we've never met got fired from a job that we don't really have any say in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I think Eric probably could have handled it better, right?
Yeah.
Like from what I saw, he didn't talk to him for 3 months, and then he shot him a text and was like, "Hey, you're fired. By the way, I made this wording that said you and I agreed to it." And Castro was like, "Well, I didn't agree to it. You're not going to say that."
Yeah, that's a tough look. And even like I'll check right now, like on the CrossFit Instagram page. Yeah, still nothing. No official. Yeah, no official like debrief on like what happened, which I think they've missed the mark on that quite a few times. But yeah, it could have been handled better, I think, for sure.
No, we'll find out what happens in like a couple months, I bet.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we'll move on. Next question here, which is actually a last rapid fire, which they're not so rapid, but that's all right. Favorite Instagram accounts, as far as like maybe something you find entertaining, or maybe just something like you find really educating, something from that standpoint.
Okay. So the two, because I try not to use Instagram a ton.
Sure.
Because of kind of like the nature of my business, I'm on social media all day long.
Yeah.
But his account name is just Hormozi. It's his last name, Hormozi. Are you familiar?
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Dude, that guy is absurd. He's so smart.
Is it just me, or did he blow up within the past month?
I don't know. I'm like kind of all about him, so okay. I'm probably like biased.
Yeah.
But just how freaking smart he is and how much information he shares is unreal. So him, and then also Nature is Metal.
That's so funny. The last person I asked on this, that was the same answer as Nature is Metal.
Dude, it's so good.
And I was like, wow, that's just a left field answer. Like, I would not have expected that. But that's so funny you said that too.
It's so good.
Also, I read or I used Audible, Hormozi's book. Yeah, really good. Really, really good. I like that. Yeah, I think he just has really, really good advice. Even his Instagram stuff is just like a 10-15 second like gold nugget. Like, oh, I can actually use that. Yeah. That's actually usable information.
Yes, he does not waste any time.
No.
What are you going to apply his book to?
I think it's just good general business advice, especially like being in like the health and fitness like industry,
Yep. Okay.
because that's what he's in. Yeah. Obviously it's not like one to one between like what he's doing and like physical therapy, but I think there's a lot of carryover there.
You can find it. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can make it.
definitely. It's funny. I've been seeing his videos like for probably like 3-4 years now, and
Yeah.
not too often. And I always was almost like I didn't like him. I'm like, oh, this guy's really annoying. Like, I'm not a huge fan because he has like the very like he's absolutely enormous, like big mustache, like kind of like in your face. I can't talk now because I have a mustache, but
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this guy's so annoying. But like as time goes on, I've grown to like him. Like he's like grown on me. I'm like, this guy is the man.
So, all right. Have you ever listened to Ryan Fisher?
Yeah. Yep.
Said that exact same thing. He's like, you want to hate this guy. He has a stupid mustache, and he's like unusually attractive.
Yeah. Like, wow, this is a beautiful man.
Yeah, exactly. But you just can't hate him.
No, yeah, I'm a big fan of him too, actually. He's
Ryan?
cool. Ryan,
Ryan?
yeah, I'm a big fan of him, but I have a lot of friends who are like, this guy sucks.
I know. I've heard that too. I like him. I
Yeah,
think he's pretty funny.
I'm a big fan. All right, so let's transition. I want to get a little bit more into your history. I know we covered a decent amount of it already, but basically, where'd you grow up? Kind of what did you do as far as like athletics background, like youth sports or whatever, or college sports, intramural type stuff even, and then how did you where do you live now? We covered that, but like how did you start getting into fitness as being your business?
Yeah, for sure. So, like I've said a couple times, I live right now in Vernon, Vermont, which is where I was also born and raised. And up until 2.5 years ago, that's just where I lived for good.
Mm.
But 2.5 years ago, I was working in the medical field. I was a surgical technologist. So my role in surgery was to help the doctor at surgery set up the sterile field before he came in, make sure everything was good to go. And then we had a small hospital. So usually there's like a PA or a resident to help the doctor. In our case, in some cases, there was a PA or a resident, but usually there's not. So it was us that was helping. And that opened up new opportunities for me, right? Like traveling nurses, or like I mentioned, Kayla's a physical therapist. I could travel anywhere. So that's what brought me to Hawaii for my first time. And then that kind of just opened my eyes to the world of traveling. So I spent, I think it was 6 months in Hawaii. I spent about a month in Bali after that, came home. And Kayla and I started dating shortly after that. We went back to Hawaii, and now we're getting ready for Georgia.
Awesome.
That's my history there. As far as sports go, I suck at them. I've never been good at sports. I grew up doing probably martial arts is like what I stuck to the most. I think I started when I was about 10, and I did that for a few years. I got a pretty high belt. I wasn't a black belt, but I got close to it. And then I did play ball sports in high school, like soccer, basketball, baseball. Couldn't shoot a hoop, couldn't dribble a soccer ball down the field, and couldn't hit a baseball with a bat. But I played. And then along came CrossFit in 2019. And I don't know what it was, but I kind of liked it enough to try and get good at it. And now I would like to compete in some form or another. Definitely not elite, but probably like a higher end of scale division or lower RX. And we'll see where we go with it.
Awesome. What type of martial arts did you do?
I did Taekwondo for the longest time. And then in high school at some point I did Muay Thai.
Sweet. So some striking there. Yeah,
it was fun. So I ended up doing Muay Thai. It's the weirdest thing. So one of my friends in high school was like, hey, I used to do Taekwondo with me. He's like, I've been doing Muay Thai with this guy named Tony. I think you should come. I was like, you mean Tony, like the guy that serves us lunch every day? He's like, yeah, the little Thai dude. He was our lunch guy.
That's too funny.
Little jacked Thai dude. So I ended up going, and we were training in his basement. And it was like the most backwoods, like secretive Muay Thai thing ever, but it was super fun. He would just like put all these 15-year-olds around, tell us to fight. But it was pretty fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How did you, I think you might've said this already. If you did, I apologize. How did you end up finding CrossFit?
Yeah, so I actually did kind of skip over that. While I did sports and all that,
Mhm.
but the most consistent thing I ever did was just weightlifting.
Mm.
Me and my buddy stepped in the gym at the same day when we were like 13 or 14 years old. And I am like a naturally skinny person. And he had those awesome genetics where like if he benched once, he benched 315.
Yeah.
So I was always trying to keep up with him. And I never could, but I did get better. And from there, I think it just kind of got boring, right? Like I was doing the same thing every single day. And eventually, I think what happened is I was short on time. So I kind of mixed up my workout. I was like, all right, I got to do all this, but I have 30 minutes. So I did CrossFit by accident in like a commercial gym.
Mm.
And I really liked it. And around that time, I don't know what happened or where it was, but I saw Rich Froning on like a poster on YouTube or something. And just like Alex Hormozy, it's like, that man is very beautiful. I have to know what he does.
Right.
So then I just kind of started getting into CrossFit. It's like, well, if he does that and he looks like that, that's the route I want to go.
Totally.
So I traveled to Hawaii and I didn't know anybody there. I didn't go with anybody. I was more than happy to step outside my comfort zone. So I didn't sign up to a box gym. I just walked to the biggest CrossFit gym on the island and signed up and gave a hell.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then let's transition to how did you end up as far as like even starting to train clients and end up opening your own business?
Oh man. Let's see. So it's something that like dawned on me like a half a year ago or a year ago, but I've always kind of had the entrepreneurial spirit. When I was in grade school, I was in art class. I'm like kind of slightly artistic. So I would make these stickers for kids and I would sell them for like 50 cents or a buck. And then in high school, I upgraded to selling t-shirts. And I was like, all right, if I can sell X amount of t-shirts, I can put a down payment on a car. And it was just always something business related, even though I never thought of it that way. So that's just kind of something that was ingrained in me. But then, like I said, I was into weightlifting. And if you're going to want to add muscle, you have to eat more food, right? So I ended up eating too much food and not getting fat, but I got soft, right? I was a little bit chubby. Well, shit, now how am I going to not be chubby? So I started looking it up online and finding all these programs, right? Actually, you mentioned Ryan Fisher. This is how I found Ryan Fisher, from his carb cycling. And I looked up his program. I never bought it. I looked up a few others and I said, you know what? These guys aren't geniuses. Like, if they did something, I can do the same thing. I looked up their backgrounds. None of them went to school for like to be a dietitian or a nutritionist. Like, okay, I can figure it out. So I did like 6 months of research. I tested on myself and I got absurdly lean. Like I've never been more lean in my life. And so I had people start asking, right? They're like, dude, you were like 215 pounds 3 months ago. How do you look like this? And I was like, okay, I might have something here. So I gave it to 5 friends for free and they got lean. And then more people came and I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to help you guys for free. I'll charge you $50 for it. And then it was just kind of born from there.
Wow. That's really cool. It was literally just a natural progression.
It was, yeah. Exactly.
You figured it out and then you gave it to your friends and they figured it out. And then it just spiraled from there. And you're like, all right, I guess I should start charging for this.
Exactly. Yeah. And it worked. The best thing was it worked, right?
Right. Otherwise it would have never caught on.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so let's dive into a little bit about your business. I know we talked about it a little bit already, but so you're working remote, and why did you? So when did you open? When did you start?
Officially like 4 years ago.
Were you always working remote?
Yes.
So you did it before. I mean, everybody started doing it obviously when the pandemic started, but you were doing it before that, when I feel like a lot of people would still prefer to do things like in person. So what made you choose that style?
I stayed fairly busy, right? So I worked in the OR 5 days a week. With that came call. So what call is emergency surgery. One of us is on call 1 to 2 nights a week. And if a bad car accident comes in, or if somebody needs a C-section, we get called in at 1 or 2 a.m. We have to go and help the doctor with that procedure. So I didn't have a whole ton of time on my hands, and I was already living at the gym for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. I didn't want to be there anymore. And everything I was doing didn't need to be at the gym, right? If I wrote a program once, like if I wrote a really good program once, I could send it to 100 people.
Right.
So I think it was just efficiency.
Yeah. Yeah. It just made the most sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. And so going along that line, what are so benefits? Obviously it's more efficient. You get more programs out, help more people. What are some of the challenges, with being remote?
So right now my bread and butter is like a 5-week fit challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody signs up, they hop into this fit challenge, and they get my attention every single day. My attention is usually on like a Facebook post. So I'm typing out a description of things. And I think that's sometimes the biggest drawback is like, it's harder to explain yourself on like a text message than it is video. So that gets tough sometimes. If I get a question too many times, I'm like, okay, clearly I'm doing something wrong. I need to fix this so more people can understand it. And I will address it in a better way. And then weekly, I'll go live in a video and do like a live Q&A. So it's like you and I talking right now. That's helpful.
Nice.
But I think that's probably the biggest drawback.
So it's just like finding, because obviously the in-person communication has its benefits. So finding ways to, if there is some sort of like break in the communication link that you've been able to identify, just like finding ways to fix that and like progress and like move forward.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And so your two big programs, correct me if I'm wrong, is the weight loss and the hypertrophy program?
Yeah. So it's mostly one program together. They can pick which route they want to go. Right. But I had this app built for everybody. It's on my website. If you pay, you get access to the app. And I'm sure you're familiar with it, but it's based on TDEE. So total daily energy expenditure. Each client's going to put in their age, their height, their gender, their weight, their activity level, and then they're going to pick if they want to maintain, lose fat, or gain muscle. And based on that, it's going to spit out custom macronutrients, so carbs, fat, protein, based on their goals and their body.
Nice. Yep. So is a big part of it tracking as far as like macro tracking?
Yeah. So as much as people don't want to hear or don't want to do it, that's what has to be done, at least for a little bit of time.
Yeah. Until you know what you're putting in your body.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. That's cool. I work with a nutritionist right now, and that's the same thing. I hate doing it, but I know how important it is.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like I'll go through phases. Like I'll do it for a while. I'll get really dialed in, and then I'll kind of like eat intuitively, and then I'll just kind of like stray further and further away. And then I'm like, shit, I got to dial back in again. Like,
who do you work with? Is it a big company?
No, it's somebody local. It's somebody from Newport. Gina, it's Apex Nutrition. Okay. She's really good. But yeah, I've been using her for a while. So I'm huge on like getting coaching, like getting help for this type of stuff.
Well, if somebody's better at something than you are, you should learn from them, right?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. Like I pay for help on things all the time when people are better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've found huge success, huge results for having like a coach like help me with that. Like obviously from accountability standpoint, like just the weekly, bi-weekly messages be like, hey, get your shit together, or like you got to do this, like and also like yeah, the community, like a Facebook group of other people going through it, or yeah, and just help. Like I mean, obviously, like I'm not a nutritionist, I don't know all the answers, but there's someone who has more experience that can help me with that, you know.
Exactly.
How do you find as far as like, because I feel like, I mean, obviously America in general has a huge problem with obesity. I saw a post actually, you might have seen this too. I don't know what Instagram account posted. It was like this it was a post from like 1950 or something like that. And it was a picture of this guy sitting on a bench. And it was like this, at this time in 1950 or whatever year it was, this was the fattest man in the world. And it goes, and the caption goes like, you see these people every day now. Like that's how much has changed like in the recent times. Like, so obviously America, the world has a huge issue, like not fat shaming or anything, but like obesity is a health condition. It is a problem. So how do you feel as far as like, obviously people hugely benefit from your service. But how do you feel as in like tapping, like how can you get people like motivated? How can you like tap into that and to get them to be like really, really consistent and accountable? Have you found like certain like there's certain things that you look out for, or certain things you can use to like help people get motivated?
That's tough, man, right? Because if somebody doesn't want to change, they're not going to change.
True.
Um, so that's like the biggest thing. So you have to meet people where they are.
True.
But for me, I think the biggest thing that resonates with people is that the best diet is the one that you're going to stick to, and the best form of exercise is the type that you enjoy, because then you're going to stick to. So that's why in my program, I'm telling people, like, you don't need to eat any certain type of food. I'm not going to ever make you eat chicken and rice and broccoli every day. I'm not going to ever make you do 100 burpees a day. It's just not going to work, because you're not going to like it. So I give these people like a giant cookbook. I give them a ton of recipes. All of them taste good. It's enough to cook for their family. It's quick. It's efficient. I try and meet people exactly where they are, so that they don't have to make these giant life changes in order to actually change their life.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Meet them where they're at and find something they can do and they enjoy.
Exactly.
That's huge. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we'll shift gears just slightly. Because I kind of want to know where you're at as far as like what are you doing right now for like your nutrition. I know we talked about your fitness already, but where are you at for nutrition right now? Do you have a certain like style that you do now, or do you have certain styles you did in the past that maybe you tried that you liked that you didn't like?
So I've tried just about everything, right? None of it worked great. Like keto, it helped me get lean, but I had no energy. I felt terrible. High protein, high carb is probably where I'm at right now, right? I eat my body weight in protein. I have a ton of carbs because I work out frequently. And carbs are energy. So that's where I'm at now, but I don't track anything. I don't measure anything. I haven't done that in probably a year. I just go off feel, and I go off looks. So if I look like I'm getting too soft, I'll dial it back a little bit. If I don't feel good, I'll change something, and that's it. And that's kind of the point where I want everybody to get to also. Like I tell people that you are going to have to measure, you are going to have to track, but at the end of this 5 weeks with me, hopefully you'll be all set. Like if you listen to everything I said for 5 weeks, you're going to be able to look at your plate and say, okay, that's like 50 grams of carbs, 20 grams of protein, 20 grams of fat. This is how much I have left for the rest of the day.
That's awesome. And the only way to know that is to do some tracking and do some measuring.
Right. Exactly.
Nice. You said you did try keto in the past?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. That was, I mean, it still is popular in different ways, but I never actually tried it, but the same issue I heard was like, especially if you are doing some sort of like CrossFit style, or any sort of cardio or endurance style workout, it's tough to do that on zero carbs.
I don't know how people do it.
It's really tough. And then how about any like supplements or anything that you take that you like?
So just the pre-workouts I said before, right? And then I take protein. I use Synthesix, so it's like a couple of different, they're all dairy proteins, but they're different proteins that digest at different speeds. So I kind of like that idea. And then I also use powdered carb because I cannot eat enough food. So I can't. Like if I want to gain weight, I have to have those carbs in my diet.
Do you just mix that with the protein shake? Just put it together?
So that's like intra workout. I'll have a scoop of electrolytes and then the carbs, and I'm good to go. Gives me some extra energy.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, that stuff can be helpful. I over the pandemic, when all the gyms were closing, I decided to take up marathon running like a psycho. And that was huge during the training, was like taking those gels, taking that stuff like intra workout to just keep you moving. Especially like you said, you're in the gym. If you're in the gym for like over an hour, like that stuff can be really helpful.
So did you run a full marathon?
I did Narragansett.
Wow. How was it?
Awful. But I accomplished it. I had a running coach, and he was like, "Oh, you're a fit guy. You do CrossFit. I'm going to write you a program to do it in under 4 hours." And I'm like, and to me, that was like, all right, whatever. I don't know what that means, but sure. Yeah. And so all my times, my runs were based on that. And that ended up being probably one of the hot, because I really wanted to like achieve that, because he set me up for it. And that ended up being one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. I was just like dying the entire time.
Nice.
But it's good. What's that?
Did you do it in under 4 hours?
I did it in 3:58.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Thought I was gonna die, but I made it happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think I might be one and done with that. Maybe sometime down the road, maybe some sort of triathlon for fun. But
I would like to do a triathlon. Yeah, that'd be
yeah,
fun.
swimming would be the hard part for me. I need to
Yep,
practice that.
sure. Yep.
All right, so we cover supplements. What do you do for recovery? Anything as far as like, do you have like a stretching routine, yoga, meditation, any cold therapy, or any like foam rolling, that type of stuff?
Yeah, so my recovery routine is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Dude, I'm like the CrossFit memes that you see on Instagram where like nobody does recovery. That's just me.
Yeah, nice. Well, hey, as a PT, I recommend it, and I bet you Kayla would say the same thing.
I know. I live with a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Do not do it. I totally should. It would be so helpful.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe you have the peace of mind. You're like, if I get hurt, I live with a PT. I'm good.
That's probably it. It's bad, man. I do like, as much of a lunatic as this will make me sound like, I really like cold plunges.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Have you done them?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Actually, our gym is like, and it wasn't even me, but our gym is like on like a cold plunge like one a day for a month. And we have we have a cold plunge tub right outside. So
you do? Awesome.
Yeah, our gym's like going. It's a small, the gym here in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
It's a small personal training gym, so it's not like a Planet Fitness or anything like that. So it's a community, all the members know each other. So they do stuff like that once in a while.
Nice.
Like
That's
random
awesome.
challenge. Yeah.
Have you done contrast training?
So
the hot into the cold?
Yes, there is like a little infrared sauna here too.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of bounce back and forth between that. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Love that stuff.
Yep.
So no yoga or anything?
Nope. I did yoga once in Bali, and it was, dude, I'm like a really competitive person.
Yeah.
So there's all these like really nice ladies that are super peaceful and like happy with themselves just doing yoga. And I'm like squinting my eyes open, trying to check if I'm doing better than them at yoga. And it just wasn't. It just wasn't.
They're like, we're just trying to relax, bro. Stop trying to outpose me.
So I will not do that again.
Nice.
I have done meditation in the past.
Cool.
And I kind of liked it. You know, I used the Headspace app. It was like a guided meditation.
Nice.
That I liked. I haven't done it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've always wanted to try like ROM WOD or mobility WOD, but
nice.
I haven't.
I haven't done the mobility WOD, although obviously as a PT, Kelly Starrett's the man. ROM WOD I have tried, and I really do like that.
It seems good. Like they have programs that are built around you, right?
I don't know. When I had it, I just did the general program. But I'm sure this was maybe about a year ago now, so I'm sure they do now.
Okay.
But it was quick. I think it was like 10, 20 minutes most days. And then they had one day where it was an extended, like a longer if you wanted to do that. But yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot. It keeps you flexible, keeps you mobile. Cool. What about I mean, PT, do you do any like chiro or like massage therapist, stuff like that?
So I've been to a few massage therapists. I like them.
Nice.
Kayla has absolutely, because she's a PT, has absolutely made me terrified of chiros. So
fair enough.
That's not true. She just thinks that PT is the better way to go. So like, if I do need help, like I have been injured in the past, and she's actually helped me a ton with a few things. So it is good to have like my own in-house PT. That's nice.
100%. No, I mean, like as PTs, like it's kind of ingrained in us, like we're the best. So like, exactly. Even jokingly we'll say that, but
exactly. It's like when a doctor says a dentist isn't a doctor.
Yeah, exactly. No, hey, everyone has their place. Everyone's good. I got a bunch of good chiro friends too that are really good. So cool. And then you said foam rolling the cross ball. Have you ever messed around with that, like warm-ups or anything?
Yeah, we have a couple in the living room. Like I will roll out if I need to.
Yeah.
But as a rule, not a ton. I'll just do like a solid warm up before every workout. That's about it.
It's really funny. Do you follow Jiu Jitsu at all? Do you follow the top guys?
I want to try BJJ. I've never done it.
You should try it, especially coming from a martial arts background. You should 100% try it. There's the top guy right now is Gordon Ryan. for Nogi. He's very a very political Instagram page, but speaks very bluntly, which I kind of respect.
Yeah, for sure.
But he was on a podcast with Joe Rogan recently. I think it was him. It might have been him or another guy. I know it was him because Joe Rogan was asking like the same question, like, "Oh, what do you do for recovery?" Blah blah blah, and he's like, "I just do jujitsu every day. That's all I do." And he goes, "You know what? No, I'm wrong. I pay this person to stretch me for an hour every like a couple times a week." And he's like, "Because I'm too lazy to do it myself." I'm like, "This is just the funniest thing I've ever heard." So it just reminded me. It's like when you were talking about that, you're like, "Yeah, I don't do too much recovery." So
That's
hey,
it.
even the top guys are kind of on the same page sometimes.
Could be onto something.
Yeah, right. All right. So let's see if I missed anything here. So we talked about your training, nutrition, recovery. What's coming up? So you said you want to get competitive as far as like CrossFit goes, even just like from like a local stand or regional standpoint. Are you looking forward to the Open this year?
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be super fun. It's always cool to just see where you stack up against people.
Yeah.
And then next week, we're heading down to Miami for Wadapalooza.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, just the spectators, but it'll be fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Do you compete in any like local competitions too?
There are none, man.
Really?
There's really like probably the closest one is down by you.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
They do some in Mass and Rhode Island.
Yeah.
If you like email, I'd recommend subscribing to the Morning Chalk Up because they'll list have you seen this? They
No,
list at the bottom of it's just a like weekly or daily like CrossFit email. And they list at the bottom all the competitions that are happening like throughout the US. And so
cool.
every once in a while I look down there like, oh, there's one like kind of near me. Maybe I should do that. So those are pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. I would check that out. I would definitely like to.
Yeah. And they're a good newsletter. I mean, obviously it gives you like the scoop on what's going, like the ins and out of what's going on in the community. Cool. All right. So anything else in store for the future? Any other, so do you have any things coming up as far as with your business?
Nothing crazy. This Sunday, so January 9th, sounds like this podcast will be out after that.
Yep.
But I'm releasing a new program that I've been building for just about the past year. So it's like a spin-off of what I mentioned before, my 6-week challenges. This one is a 5-week fit challenge. It's a lot more in-depth. It has a lot more information, has an updated nutrition calculator. So I'm really excited to show people what they're going to get out of it. Like a lot of the people that are signing up to this round are people that have taken a challenge with me in the past and seen like huge amounts of success. And then I can't wait to show them what they're capable of with everything that's new. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Sweet.
Aside from that, nothing really. We're just staying consistent on everything.
I like that. Good. And then I know we talked about a lot of things already, but is there anything we missed that you might want to plug?
I think that's it. I think we covered a ton. Yeah.
Awesome. And then my final question, and this sometimes trips people up, so if you need a little time to figure it out, it's totally fine. But if you could figure one quote, one mantra, or one saying that you really like, the way I describe it to people is, what's the major highway? Is it 89 or 83 in Vermont?
91.
Is this one that's 80, right? Is that in New Hampshire?
No, there's one in northern Vermont. I think it's 89. People are gonna hate me for not knowing.
So 91 is a big one?
Yes.
All right. I don't even know if there's billboards in 91, but if you get a billboard on 91, and so everybody driving by, I know there's not a ton of people going up there, but they're going skiing. If you get the billboard and you could put any quote saying like maybe something inspirational, maybe something motivational, do you have a quote that you would like to put on there?
Oh boy. Well, you gave me enough time to think about it while you were. That's good. I would say that if you continue to wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life.
Nice. Just take action.
Right. I get all these people all the time, friends, family, people I don't know, that tell me they'll do something soon. It's just not a good time. But there's always some bullshit that's going to come up. And they think that other people's lives are easier than theirs. And the truth is, nobody's life is super easy. People just take action better than others.
True.
You know?
I like
and
that.
I wish more people would see that, because more people can do way better than they think they can.
Don't wait. Take action.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, hey, that wraps it up. Thank you for being on, man.
You got it, man.
There's a lot of fun.
Happy to hop on.
Absolutely. Cool. All right. So I'll stay off air to talk to you for a little bit, but I'm going to shut the recording down. So we are signing off.